Hello, everyone. This is Will with Hook and Push Gaming, and we are back with more MTG news. Let's get into it. Here we have the today's announcement of changes the banned and restricted list for historic. The historic list. There are Pioneer, Modern, and Pauper are also affected, but this is primarily an arena channel, so we're not going to get into that. So, main things. Agent of Treachery, Winota, and Fires of Invention, which were all previously suspended, are now banned. Nexus of Fate is also banned, and Burning Tree Emissary is suspended. Let's get into what they had to say about that. So, Winota, Agent, and Fires were suspended. As with all suspensions, we've been carefully watching how the changes affected the historic meta, and our data is showing it to distinct improvements of those cards removed. Each of those cards that will tend to get more problematic as the format grows in breadth and power, either as keyways to easily access very powerful effects or as one of those powerful top-end pieces. Because we feel the data shows a positive impact from the current suspensions, and because it's unlikely to be safe to reintroduce these cards to Historic anytime soon, Winota, Agent, and Fires are banned in Historic. Players will be receiving wildcards as normal for these bans per the policy announced earlier. So you will be getting wildcards for those cards. And so they're saying unfortunately with those bans, it actually narrowed the format to a couple big decks, which in the competitive scene, one of which was Nexus of Fate, which I remember just how problematic it was in Standard, when M19 was in Standard, of just how annoying it was that they had to ban it in Best of One on Arena, because it's just not fun to play against this deck. I think that's a big part of why they banned it, because the next, I think it's the Arena, they call it the Arena Open, is going to be Historic, and they probably don't want a bunch of people being trolls and just ramping into Nexus of Fate and looping that over and over again, because that's not fun Magic to watch, to play, to be a part of. Any of it. It was kind of an odd choice to print this card in the first place, but that's another story. Yeah, so they do mention that Wilderness Reclamation is very powerful, but they're probably not going to ban it because it's not generally the problem with the deck. I think Standard might disagree with that, but it is going to rotate out soon, which is probably why they're not going to do a whole lot with Standard right now. Just because rotation is coming, Wilderness Reclamation is rotating out with it, and a bunch of other things, but that's for another video. Nexus of Fate. Yeah, this was the one that got me, the suspension of Burning Tree Emissary. Let's take a look at Burning Tree Emissary. For those of you who don't know, it's actually listed as a common on Arena, and it's a 2-mana 2/2 that gives you a red and a green. And one of let's see their reasoning. The other deck that has long been a powerhouse in Historic is Gruul Aggro. While it has often been the most played deck, the separation between it and the other top decks has widened significantly in the last month. Gruul and Nexus are each now played more than 3 times as much as their closest competition in Best of 3, and Gruul has one of the highest win rates in both Best of 3 and Best of 1. After considering the deck and the surrounding meta, we feel like the best card to act on here is Burning Tree Emissary. While the explosive start enables are a factor in the deck's rise, its removal should leave the deck with ample power to remain competitive, just at a more balanced level with other aggressive options. Unlike Nexus of Fate, we do see a strong possibility that the Historic meta could shift in a way that allows Burning Tree Emissary to find a balanced, fun home. However, as the meta stands today, the power it brings to Gruul Aggro is overall reducing the number of balanced, interesting, and varied deck options in the format. For this reason, Burning Tree Emissary is suspended in Historic. Okay, let's just talk about that. So again, Burning Tree Emissary, I actually just played on a video the other day a Gruul Aggro list that did not play Burning Tree Emissary in a bunch of 2-drops. And the reasoning from Robert Taylor at the Historic Society made up this list, and his reasoning was that it is a very fast start, certainly, to be able to play 2 2-drops on turn 2, or more if you have multiple in your hand. But that gets outclassed very quickly. Like, I was just thinking before this video of how bad it feels, hi Bob, to go turn 2, Emissary, into another Emissary, into Robber of the Rich, and then you have a Pelt Collector turn 1, so you got 4 creatures out there, then turn 3, Deafening Clarion. Or even if you do get an attack in, turn 4, Shatter the Sky. Or they play a 3 or 4 toughness creature. It feels pretty bad to build that way and get into that. So yes, it's a very powerful card for sure, but I think they're saying that even that's not really the problem in the deck, but I think they're suspending it because they hope it'll slow down the deck a bit. And it does, to be fair. The previous list I mentioned does include Llanowar Elves to try and pick up the difference. So then you can at least turn 2 Lovestruck Beast, which is pretty cool, as far as I reckon. But yeah, dealing with Burning Tree Emissary in this way, I'm not crazy about it. I get it. I don't think it's that powerful, and I think even they're admitting that. But again, I think this is for the Arena Open so that everyone isn't playing either Nexus or Gruul Aggro with Burning Tree Emissary and a bunch of 2-drops. So I think I get the decision, but yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of it. But I've been playing Gruul Aggro without Burning Tree Emissary, so it's not going to affect me that much. And that list, or a list like it, will probably become very popular leading up to this, because Gruul Aggro is a very strong deck in Historic. And it was partially because of Burning Tree Emissary, but I don't think it will be sorely missed. So yeah, Burning Tree Emissary. Let's look at this last bit here. One final note on Historic suspensions. When we first introduced the mechanism in December, we emphasized the limited time nature of suspension by linking it to the periodic ability of Ranked Historic. Now that Ranked Historic is always available, that no longer works as a good boundary marker. Despite that, we will be adhering to the general timeline it imposed, and any suspension will be resolved via unsuspending or banning the affected cards within roughly the same 2 to 3 month span. We will always act more quickly when we feel the data is clear, but this will act as an outer bound. Suspension is a temporary measure to ensure that balance changes are playing out well, and it will not be used for any long-term action. And they have kept their word on that, because Agent, Winota, and Fires were all suspended pretty recently. So just having this next decision be their banning, and yeah, and I'm glad they just banned Nexus of Fate, because this card has been problematic from the jump. So banning it's the right call. They should have more than enough data about me. It came out in M19. So they know what Nexus of Fate is. Burning Tree Emissary being suspended. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the decision, but I get it. It makes sense, I suppose, that it... Yeah, because I think they don't want to totally nerf Gruul Aggro, but I think they want to do something to reduce the frequency of it. Because again, they want a diverse meta, especially when a big tournament's coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if they unsuspend it after the Arena Open, after the Gruul Aggro does what it does. I don't know if it could win an entire tournament, because it sideboards just okay, I think. But yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I think I get the decision. Anyway, so that's it for me. Just a quick MTG news update. If you liked what you saw here today, I hope I don't have to make too many more of these, because I think it is kind of getting out of hand. All the bannings and suspensions and whatever else could happen. But if you like this type of content and you think I should keep making more of it, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down in the comment section of what you thought of the video, what you think of these bannings and suspensions. What did you think something else should have been banned or suspended? Do you think Agent or Winota or Fires should have been unsuspended? I'd be surprised if someone thought that, but I'll hear you out. And yeah, share this around with your friends. Again, always trying to grow the channel. I finally bit the bullet and got a Twitter page, so you can go ahead and follow me at Hook and Push. I'll leave that in the description. I believe it's linked on my channel as well. But yeah, this is Will with Hook and Push Gaming signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.